Before I start this video on how much do you need to retire, please, if you find it useful in any way, make sure you hit that like button. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get an alert on all of the great new content that we do. Right, so there's been a lot of press coverage in recent months with many people asking whether they are saving enough for their pension. With the cost of living crisis worsening, a rising number of people are also starting to access their pensions early, leaving many wondering how this is likely to impact their pension pot when it comes to retirement. First of all, you need to work out how much money you will actually need for retirement. Only then can you work out how much you need to save for your retirement. And in this video, I'll explain how you can do that. So first up, what is a good retirement income? Many people overestimate how much they'll need to live on in retirement, wrongly assuming that they'll need the same equivalent to their wages that they earned during their working life. Now, the reality is that a lot of the expenditure that you've got used to throughout your working life will no longer be necessary, as it's likely that something like your mortgage, if you have one, will be paid off. Your children might be self-sufficient, and any commuting costs going to work will be a thing of the past. Now, it's likely that you'll need far less than you think, probably only around 2/3 of your salary in order to maintain your current lifestyle. Now, obviously, there'll be people who want to travel the world and do crazy things in retirement. I'm talking about the typical retirement, which is usually based around 2/3 of your final salary. While that is certainly good news to most people, the reality is that the average pension pot would only provide around £6,000 a year in today's money. Now, you shouldn't get hung up on what the average pension pot is or what the average income in retirement currently stands at, because the actual amount of money that you'll need to retire will depend on your own financial circumstances. So here's how you can work out what you'll need for retirement in 4 easy steps. So step 1, write down all of your monthly outgoings and only those things that will continue once you've retired. So if your mortgage is likely to be paid off, don't include it. Then simply total all of these figures up to get a monthly figure. Put simply, this is the minimum monthly pension that you'll need to be able to retire when you want. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that that number is £1,500 a month. So that totals £18,000 per year. Moving on to step 2, we now need to calculate your state pension. Now that you know your required net retirement income, you need to work out how much you are likely to receive based upon your current financial circumstances. So the next step is to calculate your state pension. Most people, assuming they have paid enough national insurance contributions, will receive a weekly state pension of just over £185 a week. Now, this equates to £9,628 a year, and don't forget that this is liable to income tax. Obviously, not everyone will receive the full state pension, especially if they have had a significant break in paying national insurance contributions during their working life. Now, if you are worried at all that you might have gaps that you might want to deal with, then you can apply for a state pension forecast to find out what your state pension is likely to be. Now, we provided a link in the description and on screen where you can apply for a state pension forecast. It only takes a couple of minutes. Next step, use a pension calculator. So you need to work out what you will likely receive from your own personal pension arrangements. You can do this by using our simple pension calculator, which we've linked to in the description below and again on screen. Now, you'll need to enter your age, your salary, the value of your existing pension fund. You'll need to enter how much you are currently contributing into it and whether your employer is contributing into your pension, and if so, how much. You'll also need to provide a retirement age and whether you wish to take a lump sum at the point of retirement. Now, in the example on screen, I've assumed a 40-year-old is earning £30,000 a year, contributing £200 a month, and the employer is matching that contribution. Now, they don't plan to take any additional lump sum when they retire, and they are aiming to retire at the age of 65. Now, the calculator has worked out that they will get an estimated £9,221 a year in retirement income from their private pensions. Now, this means that the total annual retirement income in my simple example would be £18,849 in today's money, when also including that £9,628 annual state pension. Now, I talked about the state pension and your personal pensions, but when I say personal pension, I'm also including your pension through your employer as well, obviously. Now, step 4, you need to work out your net retirement income. Now, it's worth remembering that income from pensions is taxable. So while the calculated figures so far are in today's money, they don't take into account taxation. They are gross of tax. So you can find out your net monthly pension and what that will be by using an income tax calculator, which again we provided a link to in the description and on screen. But also, if you go to the full article on the Money to the Masses website, which this video relates to, then you will find all the links in that particular article as well. And you may even be watching this video via an embed of this particular video anyway. Now, using the PAYE calculator, the net annual salary in my example comes out at £17,593, which equates to £1,466 a month, just short of the minimum £1,500 I mentioned that I needed in step 1, which was obviously the minimum retirement income. Now, what do you do if your predicted retirement income is less than you'd hoped? Well, the odds are that it probably is, because that's a reality for most people. Now, the good news is that there are plenty of things you can do to increase the size of your pension pot. Obviously, you can increase the amount that you pay in, but also your employer may match those contributions, so you need to check with them. You could also decide to retire a little later, giving you more time to build up your pension pot. Now, you can see that scenario by changing your retirement date on the calculator or clicking on the retire later button, and when you can play around with that. You could also decide not to take a lump sum in retirement. So that means you'd have a bigger pot to provide an income with. You can amend all of these fields on the pension calculator, have a play around, enjoy doing it, engage with the answers, and then you should hopefully provide a net annual income in retirement for you, and you can see the various different scenarios. Now, the next step, if you've not already got a pension, is you need to start engaging with the idea. So hopefully you should have one via your employer if you're employed, but if not, then you need to start thinking about whether you need to be paying into a pension, because don't forget, you also get tax relief on the contributions. Now, remember, if you don't plan for retirement, it will never happen. No one is going to do it for you. And it's worth taking a look at the full article on the Money to the Masses website, as it provides a more detailed explanation together with all the calculators you'll need, and also links to other articles that will help you explore saving for retirement and what your various options are. So if you found the video interesting, please make sure you hit that like button, as I mentioned at the start of the video, and also subscribe to our channel.